Hello, Benites, and welcome to the show. On tonight's show, I'm going to talk about what the hell am I going to talk about? You can't predict what I'm going to talk about here. I don't even know. So we just watched a movie on Netflix, and it was great. Holly, what do you think? Look at the size of my freaking head. You know, I would have a full head of hair if I had a normal size head. Oh, I'm sorry. I just did all this talking and you missed the past 2 minutes of me talking. I was saying that Adam is berating me. And yes, everyone, I get the point. I was muted. What I was saying was I said hello, Crystal, because she was in the room. And I said, I got a picture today from her sister that showed Crystal's dog, Little T, was on a T-shirt that I wore in Bad Ben Frankenstein. And it was after it, we all signed it. Scott, Holly, Martin, who played Frankenstein, and I all signed the shirt. And Senator, what's up, dude? And anyway, she framed it, and it looks nice. And there's also in the lower corner, she put the items from the Bad Ben starter kit, the brain, the hands, the stuff. Hey, Deb. As you guys can see, it's snowing here again. And we've had everything from, hi, John. Did you ever, I guess you never got YouTube figured out? But it's good to see you in here either way. And let's see everybody who I missed because I had it muted. Hello, Crystal, Adam, Lisa, Ronnie. Janaea. Gaming with Bernie. J-Lo. Jaded Gypsy. Deb. And John. But you can see, if you guys don't mind, I'll leave the camera up that shows it's snowing outside. It just makes me happy. Hopefully it makes you happy. Well, thank you, Crystal, for all your support. It's been immeasurable. Jaded must have put an emoji. Oh, there it is. The emojis load kind of slow on this program. Hi, Robin. Do you think it's safe to comment on?
Well, just tell them what the situation is currently.
Well, you know, I like to, when I learn things, Yeah, that's snow. Well, they've talked about we could get 6 to 8 inches overnight, but it's supposed to be warm tomorrow. So I think it's supposed to rain like overnight. And anyway, I just don't know how long this is going to last, but it's heavy. So that means two things. Number one, it means tomorrow morning, well, before it rains, the trees will be covered in this. So it will look very nice. I don't know if it's going to start raining overnight and might make it yucky. But anyway, that's what it looks like now coming down. And they said we could get 6 to 8 inches, but we'll we'll see. The other thing this could mean, and this happened a couple years ago. I want to say like nine. No, it's been longer than that. My mother's been gone 10 years, so this was somewhere probably about 15 years ago. We had a real late snowstorm, heavy snow in March, and it brought down tree branches everywhere. But out front, I've rarely shown the angle from the front of the house outward, but we have a cedar tree, which is out near the street. And one of the lower branches broke because it was so weighted down with snow. And it smelled so good, the cedar. And I had flashbacks of owning a hamster as a child, where you'd get the cedar chips for their pen. I still don't think I think it's just around freezing here. Hey, Hal, when you come back, could you walk over and look at that thermometer? You know the one I'm talking about? So, I like to inform you guys when I learn things, life hacks and stuff like that. Um, was that normal play? About 2 days ago, Sable started getting extremely aggressive. She would, like all day long, she would curl up on top of Holly. And she's a little big to be a lap dog, but she would curl up there and Archer would lay next to them on the couch. Holly was in a recliner doing her crafts and all, and Archer would lay on the couch. Well, she jumped down, and anyway, she started attacking him. Now, I will tell you that a couple years ago, Archer would regularly attack her, like just bark and jump down, and she would like cower. Well, that wasn't happening in the past, and that hasn't happened for like 2 years. But the past 2 days, well, 2 days ago, she was being extremely aggressive. See, that's above freezing. Because that thing we found is pretty accurate. Anyway, she was jumping down and they were busting into a fight. And I was running upstairs and yelling, and it got it under control. And then every time, just for 2 days, it was happening 3 or 4 times a day, where she would get extremely aggressive and attack him. And he began to get scared. And he's bigger than her, a significant amount bigger. And he would get up on the chair behind me, and he was shaking, and he was scared of her. And this was going on for like 2 days straight. It was really upsetting to Holly and I. Well, I go online last night and I Google what can make a dog start acting aggressively to another dog all of a sudden when it hasn't been a problem before. And all the different sites I read said one thing: that dog may have a medical issue and it's not feeling well. And so I started reading, um, like, what kind of things. And one of the things the articles were all talking about were anal glands. So, I told you I'm sorry for the blunt realism here, but Sable has to get her anal glands aspirated regularly because they fill up and it causes them discomfort.
Which is normal for a dog.
Right. So, if they ever get too out of control, do you know the vet can remove them?
No.
I would never have that done though, unless she
Would
was.
that mean that she'd be leaking juice everywhere?
No, oh my God, juice. But so I then take it and I look at Sable's ass, and it looks like it was a little bit like it was protruding a little, not like the pink inside was visible.
You're being very graphic.
I'm just saying it looked a little bit like a pair of puckered lips. All right. All right. I said it. So I didn't have a vet appointment and it's been a few weeks. And so I texted them this morning and I said, I think Sable's having an issue with her ass. I said her anal glands are really bothering her and she's being, I didn't say about the aggression. So they said, bring her in. So I remembered to take the whipped cream because that's their treat whenever they go to the vet. And
he picked his head up when you said that.
We drove up there and I took her in the back door. Not literally. Well, yeah, literally. I took her because she can't walk past other dogs because she loses her mind. So they drained them, and when I go around front to pay, the husband of the veterinarian tells me, yeah, they were really full. Because when I took her to the back door, he said, she's being very aggressive all of a sudden. He says, yeah, she feels yucky. So they did what they did. And he told me she was very full. And he said it should take a couple hours. She'll feel better. She feels better already. And we could tell immediately she felt better. Not that looked like she was feeling bad.
She wasn't whining or whimpering or anything.
But it was just like she had become suddenly so aggressive and it was so out of nature for her with her brother. And we got home and we could tell she was already seemed more comfortable, like less stressed, but he was still stressed. And like there was 2 or 3 times during the day, she was growling a little.
Just twice.
And then all of a sudden at dinner, like in the past 90 minutes, and I realize this is about 8 hours since she had them drained. Everything has returned to normal. Now watch them freak out while we're doing this. But everything has returned to normal. She's laying still next to Holly. She's not getting up, like lifting her head angrily when he moves. And he was very nervous and shaking, climbing on top of me. And if you remember, when I've been doing the live broadcast the past 2 nights, how he's been over here climbing all up on top of me and all. Well, I guess they were sending me the signs that, hey, take her to see the doc, Dad. And it's now, he's not shaking. He's calm. I got up, and that's normally when the problem would happen, when one of us would move. Well, would you agree, how it's like everything's back to normal?
Yes, but I'm not letting my guard down.
Well, tomorrow will be the.
And I'm not gonna get like angry if they have another incident tonight.
All right, calm down. By the way, I don't know. Tomorrow's recycling and trash day. And I don't know if, depending on what this snow is like tomorrow, because
It's
if I,
supposed to be mostly overnight, and by the morning it's supposed to turn to rain.
yeah, but if the snow plows are going down the street tonight,
But they did treat the street, remember?
yeah, but still, they come down and they push the snow off. The treatment's to keep the ice away underneath. And if I put the trash can out there on the pile of this snow, it's just gonna, because we don't have people that ride the trash trucks anymore and pick them up and dump them. It's now a big claw that comes out and grabs your can and dumps it and drives off. Is it thick out back, Hal?
It's pretty good. I mean, they were out there playing, so it's a mess now. Again.
Playing with each other?
Yes.
Just like a happy family
I
again.
sent you the video. It's not very good because where they were positioned was behind the pole. But they were having fun in the snow.
So everything seems to be back to normal at the Bach household. The Bach Barnes.
You can tell them I haven't watched anything Korean in about 3 or 4 days now.
It's been 3 or 4 days since she's watched anything Korean. But we had sushi last week.
I had watched Grey's Anatomy last night, and that's about it.
Is sushi Korean?
No.
Japanese?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. You could have a Korean, a person from Japan, and a person from China all working in the same restaurant called like Joe's, all making a dish from their country, and I would not be able to tell what was what. Because it's Asian food.
They're all three very different.
You know, 20 years ago, I don't think sushi was really a thing around here.
No, I think it was like a frou-frou, like, rich people thing.
There was a place, though, out here on Zion Road. You know down there where I showed you where Nick Lavella lives?
Yes.
There's that little place there on Zion Road. It's been a couple things. It's been a pizza place, but that was a sushi place like 20 some years ago. Well, you know who else, J-Lo, besides vets' offices doing anal glands? Groomers do it.
Plus, there's videos on YouTube showing you how to do it at home.
Why, were you looking?
No, you told me that.
Yeah, I did. I looked it up. Well, Nurse Matt does it to his dogs. Well, he doesn't have any dogs anymore. His last dog, Phoenix, who they had to put to sleep a couple months ago, she lived to be 18. No, they all say it's absolutely disgusting. Well, you're draining the butt juice. Butt juice. So you know that ain't perfume coming out of there. And I'd be afraid you squeeze it and it's like popping a zit and the shit goes flying everywhere. Like I would be in full chem gear if I was a vet technician.
realized two things watching Grey's Anatomy last night.
Anal glands?
No.
What?
One, it has the most annoying theme song ever on television. And like I said, Hulu would not let you skip anything. And Ellen Pompeo has not aged well at all.
No, I don't quite understand why
She
it's
looks
called
like-
Grey's Anatomy.
She looks like she's in a kabuki theater troupe.
Oh my God, Hal.
What?
What if Ellen is a fan of Bad Ben?
Well, she could be a fan of yours. I'm not a fan of hers, so.
There's 36 people in here, 34 now. They just.
It's called Grey's Anatomy because of the book and because her last name is Grey.
Yeah, but why is she the central character?
Because she was the main character. Actually, the main character was supposed to be Derek Shepherd, and then Isaiah Washington's character, Dr. Burke, were supposed to be the main characters, but the women characters pretty much took over the show.
So there was a new episode of Psychic tonight. What was that called, that show? Paradise. Paradise. We just watched that.
I'm still liking it very much.
I liked the ending tonight.
Even though you said it's like Silo.
I think it does have certain Silo vibes.
Oh, I saw a post. You might have seen it.
And Silo fucking sucked this season, except for the last episode.
You might have seen it too.
What?
That they wrapped production on A Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. And what?
No, I'm saying, so they're done filming, so maybe it'll be out this year. The last season.
When's the last time that was on?
It's been at least a year. Did you know they might push Stranger Things back to next year?
Oh, that fucking show. I can't stand that kid.
Which kid?
The lead in that, the Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, I know.
Only because, here's the thing. Every one of them is like fucking weird, the kids.
I like Joe Carey.
He's all right, yeah, but he's got a mullet in that.
Yeah, but not in real life.
Right. He looked good in, what's it called?
He looked good in Fargo. With the buzzed hair.
But the kids are all like a strange, and I think they were supposed to be a strange ensemble. The one kid, the black kid, looks normal.
Yeah, and well, you said Wolfhard has grown into his face.
Well, Wolfgang Puck there, he was in SNL,
Yeah.
and he's like grown into his face, his
He's
nose.
tall now. He's still skinny.
Yeah. But all these kids contribute to the show, but this Millie Bobby Brown's career has kind of been the one who she's gotten a lot of other work. Her career's taken off, and she's very full of herself. And when they're doing interviews with the Stranger Things cast, she's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, she is. She's a diva. I'm surprised she's been married to.
John Bon Jovi's kid, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they've been married for at least a year now. I didn't think it would last 6 months. When they get married like super young like that, they don't. It doesn't usually last.
I told you I met the kid from Gayton, is his name, I think,
Yeah,
or
the
Galen.
Toothless kid.
The kid who has the gum issue where he didn't have teeth or something.
Yes, he's from around here.
Yeah, he was actually the people that were in Steelmanville Road. Chris and Jess were in a play up in about 45 minutes from here. And I went up to watch it. And that's where he's from. Well, apparently his sister was in the play. And when the play was letting out, he was right in front of me. And I almost tapped him in the shoulder and said, "Hey, I like the show, but I at that time I didn't really like it." And I would have felt like, the kid was like 15 and I'm like 50 at the time. And I thought, oh my God, that would come across as weird. Um, Severance is kicking ass this year.
Agreed.
I can't wait to see what happens this week after how last week ended.
Well,
Holly's been spot on a couple predictions.
it seems that the last episode was polarizing. Either people thought it was the best thing ever, or they thought it was boring. And I'll say it again, I thought you would have thought it was boring.
No. See, you don't know me at all.
I do know you.
You think
you have very good taste in television now, even though you didn't like it last year. Last season, I should say.
Well, I liked it when we watched it the second time.
Yeah.
I got it.
Because you paid attention.
Well, if you remember, we watched Stranger Things and then didn't watch it for like the next 2 seasons. Yeah, well, and then finally we watched it.
I'm still not thrilled with Stranger Things. It's just something to watch. I did like Eddie, but Eddie's dead.
Eddie's doing fine.
I know.
He's now Johnny Firestorm or whatever his name is in Fantastic Four. He was in A Quiet Place day one.
Did you hear that Ezra Miller started a cult?
No.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller. These kids, when they're trying to be actors and all, they are so normal when they're trying to break into the business. Once they get in the business, their real weirdo self comes out. He's an example of that. I agree with something Ronnie said here. She said, I love Handmaid's Tale, but probably going to have to rewatch it again to remember it. It's been a long time. I probably should rewatch last season where she's out.
I liked the book, the first time, or the second time I read it. And the second book I thought was outstanding.
Is her boyfriend, is the father of her baby still alive?
I don't remember how last season. You mean in the book or in the show?
In the show.
He was, and as far as I can remember.
Now, they never really talked about what happened in the United States, did they?
No. See, that was a big part of the second book.
Going to have to go back and figure some shit out, Ronnie.
I loved the twist, the Aunt Lydia angle of the second book. I thought it was fantastic.
Has that been in the series?
No, they were supposed to do a second series about Aunt Lydia and what's her face, June's daughter, and all that stuff. But I don't know if they're going to now.
Well, I like the villain that the green lady in green who got her pinky cut off.
Serena.
I like the villain she played. I think she plays a very good role. So I saw Scott last night, and I was telling him that I've decided to continue doing Bad Ben. And he's like, because he's SAG, he can't be in the film in front of the camera. But he said, I can help behind the scenes and all. I said, I know. And he says, you know who really would want to be a Pat? And he said, Pat. Pat has had such a good time doing these. It is Serena. Pat has had such a good time doing these that he said to Scott, because Scott's like Pat's best friend. I don't, and he says, I'm an actor now. And Scott said, yes, you are. So Pat uses that like when they're out somewhere at a bar or something. Now, if you're to believe politics, according to Elon Musk, they have uncovered what amounts to not trillions, but quadrillions of dollars in waste. And then somebody trying to be a mathematical genius then says every single person in the United States could be paid $1 million from what they've uncovered. Now, let me tell you something, folks. You ever heard the saying that 1,000,000 minutes is this long and 1,000,000,000 minutes is like that long? It's much longer, like exponentially longer, obviously, because exponentially 1,000,000,000 is, much larger than 1,000,000. And 1,000,000,000,000. Hey, Google, how long is 1,000,000 minutes?
On the website ion.org, they say 1,000,000 minutes dividing by 60 to convert to hours gives 16,666 hours and 40 minutes. We can round this up to 16,667 hours.
Hey, Google, how many days is 1,000,000 minutes?
1,000,000 minutes is equivalent to 694.444 days.
So 1,000,000 minutes is 2 years. Hey, Google, how many years is 1,000,000,000 minutes?
1,902 years. On the website cdn.ymos.com, they say, question, how far back in time would we have to go to get to 1,000,000,000 minutes? Answer, 1,000,000,000 minutes would take a bit over 1,902 years.
So,
to find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
hey, Google, how many years is 1,000,000 minutes?
1,000,000 minutes is approximately 1.901 years.
So 1,000,000 minutes is 2 years. 1,000,000,000 minutes is 1,000 years. Hey, Google, how many years is 1,000,000,000,000 minutes?
1,000,000,000,000 minutes is 1,901,325.88 years.
So that's over 1,000,000 years. Hey, Google, how many years is 1,000,000,000,000 minutes?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, I even blew Google. Blew Google's mind.
You blew Google?
Stop it. You fresh.
You said it.
You're sassy and fresh. So basically, hey, Google, what is 1 quadrillion divided by 1,000,000?
The answer is 1,000,000,000.
So basically, there's 300 million people in the United States. So I guess that's about right. Hey, Google, 300 million is what percent of 1 quadrillion?
The answer is 3 times 10 to the minus 5% of 1 quadrillion.
Well, that fucking helps. So what I'm saying is it would be more like, it would basically be $1 quadrillion of waste could mean that each person in the country could be paid $1 billion. I'm a little surprised that Musk and Trump's egos have been able to coexist.
So far.
Well, it's been a month almost. Yeah, it's been a month. Well, I always knew there was government waste because I worked for the government for a while, military, but I could see how much waste was there. And also, I started getting suspicious when during COVID, they sent out every person in the country $1,500 twice. They sent out $1,000 a second time, I think. And it's I know they have to have money for emergencies and stuff like that, but the whole reason for having money is for trade. If not, you would be considered rich if you had more cows than anybody else, and you could trade them for meat and milk and leather when you needed, other things, like if you needed vegetables or you needed lumber or stuff like that. So the answer was you have people that specialize in that, and then you create money as a method of trade. You don't have a cow to trade for lumber, but you have money because you work somewhere or do something where you earn the money to pay for that. But I sit here and I look at the amount, if they talk about this amount of waste. First of all, let me tell you something. If anybody's sitting there and saying, wow, could we actually each get $1 million? Let me tell you the problem that would happen if they did that. If they suddenly sent out everybody in the United States $1 million, say they did that. Say they said, hey, we cut the budget by this much and all of a sudden you would see the cost of a car go up to $800,000. The cost of a house that would normally be like, say, $200,000 would now be like $4 million. A television, which you can now get like 65-inch TVs for $199 at Walmart, that would become like $10,000. And the reason why is this bullshit called inflation. I know people would, if consumers had the money to spend, vendors, people selling shit, would raise the price on everything. It's like now, because of the inflation and shit they've talked about, everybody's raising prices, even, saying inflation. Well, like the streaming program I used to use before the one I use now, they claim that or they doubled in price from like 40, almost doubled, from like $50 to $81 with no features changing. They changed the price. My digital phone system that I use doubled in price. My email system doubled in price, and all this. And electronically, now a lot of what this comes down to, in a lot of cases, of things that have gone up in price, is because the minimum wage was raised to $15. Not everywhere, but like Walmart and Amazon and all started paying their employees what they consider a livable wage. As if, let's see, $15 an hour, if I'm doing the math right, means a 40-hour work week, you're making 600 bucks. I don't know who can live on 2,400 bucks a month. I'm talking about a young couple with children. So this whole inflation, what happens is if people were, because I'll tell you, when they sent out that $1,500 check during the pandemic, you could not find a television in Walmart. The shelves were empty because people were at home for weeks and then months, and they bought smart TVs and sat there binge watching Netflix all day. I'm hoping there's supposed to be an Xfinity store opening around the corner from us, because the sign's been up on the store for a month at least. But I want to turn in all our cable boxes and just go down to Wi-Fi, because I said to Holly, I said, do we ever watch cable anymore? And we both agreed everything we watch is on streaming. Same thing with the cell phones. I've, in the past month or the past 8 months, because I took care of cousin Doherty's phone, and she also had a iPad. So that was 2 lines. Plus, I had this iPad that has sat on my desk for years. That's just hooked up to these cameras. And another phone I just removed from the account. So that's 4 lines I removed. And these freaking Twitch with the spam. That's what I'm saying. If I got rid of cable, we're going to save $300 a month. That's a car payment if you put enough down on a car. I'll tell you, I run a car into the ground. My last minivan I had was 16 years old, and it still looked great. And I got another minivan because the dogs. I don't think this minivan's going to last as long as the other one, though. But I remember when I got the new van, I had the old van. I went into Pete's cigar shop, and he was there with 2 of his employees. And I said, anybody wants to buy a minivan? I'm going to sell my old one for $1,000. And before I got finished saying it, Pete told one of his employees, we'll be back. And he took the other employee with him, and they followed me to my house and bought it on the spot. there was a while there that we had both DirecTV and Xfinity. And the reason why is because at that time, you could only get so many cable boxes. There was a time you had a cable come in the house and it ran to all different plugs, and you just screw a TV in and it works. But then you had to have boxes, and you could only do like 4 or 5 boxes. And we had TVs everywhere: family room, living room, kitchen, bedrooms. Down here, we had one, and we just exceeded the number of boxes. So we got DirecTV. And then I finally got rid of DirecTV. But to be honest with you, DirecTV, all the channels were HD. Xfinity, they're not all, I mean, like the premium channels like HBO, you might have 4 or 5 HBOs, but 2 of them are HD. Whereas streaming, everything's HD. And we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Disney, we have Paramount, we have Peacock. And the fact of it is that when I get rid of cable, we'll still have Netflix, Hulu, Disney, Paramount, but Peacock is part of, because we have, so we'll have to pay for one more thing. But we will save $300 a month. And I'll keep high speed internet because I need it to upload like the movies and stuff like this in a reasonable amount of time. But anyway. Well, also, John, that's because you take care of your car. Because I know people that buy a car and in a month it looks like it was in the basement of the World Trade Center on September 11th. Our van, the body looks good, but the inside, because the dogs, is. I have a guy around who details cars, and I will once in a while take the van there, and it comes out looking brand new. And he's the nicest guy, and he's cheap. I know people now that you would pay $250 to get a car detailed. I think he was 80. See, I think it's warming up because right now I'm looking out at the driveway and the asphalt spot is getting larger that was covered by snow. Hey, Google, what's the temperature?
The current temperature in Egg Harbor Township is 31 degrees.
Well, now it says it's colder. It's below freezing, it says. I don't think, unless it starts raining at like 2 a.m., which it looks like it might, I don't think we're going out in the morning. So here's one of the things I'll go over before I wrap up for the night. I am in a position I'm about to pay off enough of one of the working capital loans through Stripe that if I pay it off, it allows me to take another working capital loan, which will put me in a much better position for financing at least Bad Ben 15. So if anybody is particularly, cash heavy at the moment, like we all are, and they want to be a part of that high devil source, not a part of it, but if they want to help me, they could get, it would be about a 1 to 2 week process, but they could get that back. I'm not going to go into great detail. It's like $500. But if you just email me if it's something you want to do or can do, but don't worry about it. Otherwise, just anybody that can contribute anything to Bad Ben 15, you can use the link at the bottom here, badben.com/15. And that's about it. But let me see. Let me see if I can show you out here. This is the driveway entrance. Now you see that black spot is the asphalt that the snow's not sticking to. That was about a fifth of that size after the snow first blanketed. And now it's spreading. However, the temperature was like 34 degrees, and you can see out there the roadway looks pretty clear. That was heavily treated this morning. But the one thing I'm glad is, because I don't know what tomorrow morning is going to be like. The one thing I'm glad about, by the way, if you can see my mouse on the screen here moving, right here is the cedar tree I was telling you about. But I'm glad we were able to get Sable into the vet's office today, because if it's bad tomorrow, I wouldn't want to. Everything is so calm here right now.
You're really trying to doom everything, aren't you?
Jinx it.
Yes.
So Devil Source, I don't ever remember seeing you in here before. If you have been, welcome back. If you haven't, welcome.
I want to go.
I want a baby goat.
I want a baby goat.
I would never need to mow the back lawn. But they shit like crazy. Fitches, why don't you have a goat? They got rats and bunnies and cats and guinea pig, couple rats. Sent me a video a while ago of the rats sitting there like the sweetest little thing eating a carrot. So anyway, folks, that's been my hour tonight, just about. So I'm going to let you go and get back to trying to earn some money here. And oh, by the way, one more thing. Anybody that wants a custom Valentine's message, they're in the Bad Ben shop right now. You can order, and I'm only asking for $1, but you can put in any amount you want. Look, times are what they are, so I'm always asking for people to donate and stuff. So doing that, I know that sometimes some people would want one, but don't have the $29. I said goodnight because there's a delay. Everybody said goodnight to me and they're running. So if you want one, nobody's going to know what you paid. So if you can only afford $1, and I would make them nothing if I could, but it's not an option. It has to be at least $1. But You can get one for $1, or if you happen to be generous, you can get one for $100. But don't do 100; that's too much. It's just a message where I'm the character Tom Riley, and I'm cranky, and I wish someone a happy Valentine's Day. And
Him
then
being cranky, what a novel idea.
you need to look internally about how you abuse me in front of people. But anyway, folks, they're there in the Bad Ben shop. And if you want one for your special Valentine, I'm trying to get whoever wants them to get them to me by Thursday, like mid-afternoon, so I can have them done for Friday. Obviously, I'm not going to have them done for Saturday, but anyway, I'm going to hop off here now. So I'll see you tomorrow. See you, love you. Bye for now. There it is.